Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a heart-shaped decorative pillow. I was really inspired by Valentine's Day to make this, but of course Valentine's Day has come and gone already, but what can you do? I still wanted one for my house, so I went ahead and finished it. But here is what I'm going to be showing you how to make today, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm using a dark teal and white fabric for this project. For supplies, I'm using some pins, a sewing needle and matching thread, a Sharpie to draw my pattern on the fabric, a ruler, fabric scissors, polyfill stuffing, and finally my heart pattern. I just drew this heart shape out on some taped together printer paper, nothing fancy. I started this project by tracing the heart on the wrong side of my teal fabric and then cutting it out. This will be the back side of my pillow. I wanted my pillow to have a color block stripe on one side, so I drew two vertical lines on my pattern. This is where I plan to add the white fabric to the pillow. You can add the lines anywhere you like if you're making it yourself, and you can even have multiple colors and multiple different pieces. I recommend sketching it out first before cutting your pattern, and especially before cutting out your fabric. For the teal pieces, I traced around the outside of the heart. When I got to the inside edge, I used my ruler to add some seam allowance. I measured 1/4 of an inch away from the pattern edge and finished drawing the outline. Then I finally connected all of the lines together. I followed the same steps for the other side of the heart. And once I had the pattern drawn out, I cut out both pieces. On to the white fabric. I traced the top and bottom of the stripe first. On this piece, I needed to add the seam allowance to both sides. Again, I'm measuring 1/4 of an inch away from the fabric and drawing the line. Now before I cut out my pattern, I had measured halfway around the heart shape. I'm not sure if you would call this the circumference or if that only applies to circles, but anyways, from the bottom tip of the heart to the top center, it was approximately 26 inches. I used this measurement to cut out the side pieces. I cut out two strips that were approximately these dimensions. Once I had all my pieces cut out, it was time to start sewing. I started by adding the stripe to the front of the pillow. I pinned the white and teal fabric right sides together and sewed along this straight edge. I followed the same steps to sew the other half of the stripe to the heart. To attach the sides, I took one of the long rectangles and pinned it around the edge of the heart. I left a little extra seam allowance at the bottom point because I'm going to need this fabric later on. I also did the same thing for the top center of the heart. While I sewed, I adjusted the fabric as it went through the machine. Sewing a curve can be a little bit tricky, but if you go slow, you can adjust the fabric so that it doesn't create any pinches. I did the same thing with the other side piece to attach it. Once I had both of these pieces attached, I sewed a line to connect them at the bottom tip and at the top of the heart. Now I needed to attach the back piece of the pillow. I flipped the fabric so that the right sides were together and started by lining up the point and the center seam. I used a pin to hold the fabric in place. I pinned around the rest of the edge and it ended up looking something like this. I left a small gap in the side of the pillow so that once I'm done sewing, I can flip it right side out. I sewed all the way around the edge of the heart, leaving about a 3 or 4 inch hole in the side. Using this hole, I flipped the pillow right side out and used polyfill to stuff it. The more stuffing you add, the more firm your pillow will be. You can see here the edges were still puckering a bit, so I wanted to add some more stuffing to smooth it out. Once I was pretty happy with the plumpness of my pillow, I decided to get a sewing needle and some thread, that way I could sew the hole shut. I used a ladder stitch to close the hole in the side. I sewed parallel to the opening and then across to create a ladder pattern. After every few stitches, I pulled the fabric tight together. A ladder stitch is also known as an invisible stitch, and once you're done, you won't be able to see these stitches at all. Alright, so here is the finished product. I'm super happy with it. I love the colors and it's going to go perfectly on the couch. And I'm really glad that I was able to show you how to make one of these for yourself. If you like this video, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you for the next one.